Hey there, guys. And we've got a pretty exciting interview today with the wonderful Katie Pritchard. Welcome.
Hello, how are you, Sam?
Yeah, really well, thank you. We're hoping it's going to work real well right now. Before we kind of started recording, that did go a little bit funny on the internet. So, for all you guys watching this shortly, please bear with us. We're going to have a bit of an awesome interview. I've had a chat with Katie before, and man, I'm excited by what this amazing lady has to offer us. So, Katie, for some of those guys who've obviously been here for the first time last year as a spectator, hearing your awesome husband speak, tell me a bit about your story. Where you're from, what you're doing, where you're practicing, where you're working, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Well, I'm one of those lucky few who has graduated from the New Zealand College of Chiropractic. I graduated back in 2000 and then came over to Melbourne, was an associate for 2 years, and that was an incredible experience. And since then, Ash and I returned to New Zealand, and we have been practicing for the last 18 years in Auckland.
Wow.
And still loving it, still inspired every day. And more recently, I've taken on the position of Dean of Chiropractic at the New Zealand College of Chiropractic. So that's been the last 3 years.
So what you're saying is you're the top dog pretty much over there in the New Zealand College.
Not quite, but I certainly get to work with a pretty inspired lot. And there's never a dull moment, never a dull moment.
I do. I was being cheeky then, but I mean, Dean of the chiropractic department is pretty awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
It's so good to hear. We hear so many people giving back to our profession in research and also in education, looking after our clients. And you seem to be a bit of both. Obviously, working at the New Zealand College, and
Yep.
some of the stats you talked about before are so cool, which we'll kind of get into shortly. But okay, so it's good that you're obviously a practicing dean, basically, because you said to me before that you work 4 days a week, but then so you work at the college 4 days a week, but you're also in the college as well. Tell us about that as well. So not in college,
I drove it home pretty hard. When I took the position, I said on one condition, and that was that I had to carry on practicing, because it's what fills me up. It's what inspires me. And so every Friday I am in Advanced Health Chiropractic doing my thing. Ash is also rostered on a Friday morning, so we have a lot of fun in the practice. And to be honest, in order to do this role justice, I think that's what's made the difference, is keeping it real, knowing what it's like to be out there connecting with your public, and communicating chiropractic in an effective way, keeping the community checked and adjusted so that they can lead happier and healthier lives.
That is so cool. I mean, it's always good to have. I mean, the students there at the NZCC must be are so lucky and blessed to be able to have their dean also in practice, to be able to kind of come back and tell the miracle stories. And I think I mentioned to you before about us at the Innate Summit. We often ask our attendees what they want, and they want to hear the miracle stories. They want to hear about the philosophy, and then to be a student studying and to have the dean of chiropractic to be able to tell stories from last week. Man, that must be so powerful.
Yeah, I really do try and incorporate that a lot. So we have a particular class called an intern meeting every week, and with my fourth years, we spend a lot of time reflecting on their practices within the chiropractic centre and what they've learned and what they need help with, and any sort of revelations in practice with case work. And then I would try and share what's been happening in the real world. And one of our big I think points of difference at the New Zealand College, we really have tried to set up the chiropractic centre so it's like real life practice. So we're trying to make sure that the students are having an experience which is not too dissimilar than if they were to come and work in any one of your offices, so that they understand what chiropractic practice could be like, should be like, or might be like for them in the future.
That is so. I mean, I'm so excited by. I know your story a little bit, and even last year, on stage we asked, the audience, what would be the, the volume of some of the clients. I might go into that right now in too much depth, but I know that, we asked who here in the room is seeing X amount and X amount. We kind of made you guys stay the longest, and you and Ash were the last ones in the room standing, which kind of pretty much says you're pretty much one of the busiest chiropractors in Australasia, I would say, just purely on the sheer volume of how many people you guys see, which then tells, I think, leaps and bounds to your education, your attention. And here, this guy, like Katie was saying before, about when she's at the practice she's in and the special party she ran for her practice members, for her and Ash. Would you mind just sharing that story with me again about the party that you organised for your current clients that you did when you first started out? Oh no, we might have frozen.
When we first bought this, practice, we knew that we'd bought a really good practice, and had been through 4 different lots of chiropractors, and so we thought, how do we celebrate? Well, let's throw a party. And the conditions to get onto the invite list were people had to be under care for 20 years or more. So we didn't really know how many people would be on our guest list, and we did the data search, and we discovered that there were at least 150 qualifying applicants or invitees. And that really blew us away, because what it showed us is the depth or the richness of the type of practice members that were coming in through all those previous chiropractors and had maintained their care all over the years, which is just awesome. Awesome that people were coming in for health and well-being and vitality rather than fix it, short-term kind of care.
Katie, that's more than awesome. Like, that's beyond, that's freakish for me. We asked the question last year to our attendees as well, what do you want to have more of? And people said, communication, retention, and also how to bring in new clients. But far out, I'd give my left arm to be able to have a practice that I knew had 150 members that have been getting regular chiropractic care for 20 years. I mean, that is a dream practice, and also a testament to the richness of your clients, but also of the message that's been spread around your community around the value of chiropractic. So I think you and Ash, what you've achieved, and also what you guys are doing in New Zealand is so exciting. And can you tell us a bit about the passion? And also, obviously, I don't want to kind of focus just on the students of New Zealand, but I mean, you're a mother of 2. Okay, you've got a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old, which has got its own challenges. Many women in practice obviously get caught up in being a mum and then a kind of almost like a part-time chiropractor. But you've kind of jumped in with both hands and both feet, with being a mum, with also still adjusting, and also being the dean of the college and serving a large amount of community. Tell us about like the numbers. You're saying that obviously your kids in the 4th and 5th years there are kind of almost your extended family. But as the dean of the chiropractic there, this year for some of you RMIT grads and also Macquarie and Murdoch and even the new college starting out in Adelaide, these numbers for the students in 4th year are freaking out of control.
They really are. It's very exciting. We have a purpose-built chiropractic centre where they see their people every week, and we've doubled it in size over the last 2 years because we needed to. And essentially, as with all programs, there are minimum requirements, and I'm really happy to say that well over 80% of our final year students will see ridiculously up and above these numbers. They are our minimum requirements, which are 500 visits over 18 months. In the last 7 weeks, the 4th years have been busy, and they've seen 4,000 people in our community who have been tuned up and checked over the last 7 weeks. We've seen over 300 new practice members into the centre.
So I just got to cut you off then, because those are getting me excited. I'm a bit of a numbers person. So you're saying roughly, you said before, about 68 4th years. That's how many you've got?
Yeah.
So you're 68 4th years. So it's not a huge amount, not a massive amount, but still 68 4th years have seen 4,000 people to get adjusted. As well as that, they've had 300 new clients in 7 weeks. I mean,
that's right.
Wow. That's
so they and what's even more encouraging is that these new clients have all been they're all growing their own practices within our greater practice. So there is nothing that's provided for them. They are literally learning from the grassroots how to build a practice and how to establish themselves in their community. So it's pretty phenomenal.
And also the fact that I'm guessing you said before, they're all paying clients too. You're not giving away care there. They're all paying clients, and obviously I'm guessing the people coming in know they are students. So therefore, I mean, that's a good testament. I think we've been trying to promote this vitalistic message for so many years. You're saying vitalistic and wellness message. I mean, it's so good, the fact that the New Zealand people are getting that, but also the students are graduating with the importance. So hats off to you. It's so exciting. Far out. Anything else to add to that? Because that still is rocking my world.
Oh, I wish I had my stats in front of me, but essentially the year that just graduated really blew the top off the ceiling, essentially, with regards to how many the volume of people they were seeing. And like I said, 500 is our minimum requirement. We had over 2/3 of the class had seen over 700 visits over their 18-month period. And then there was 1/3 of the class that saw well over 1,000. So and there's so much more room for capacity, which is exciting from a systems point of view, because we're not fully booked yet. So we've still got space and availability for that practice to grow even further. So it's very cool.
And what do you reckon is the change? I mean, some of the colleges that they would love to have those kind of numbers in their own colleges, and to have the students to be able to feel they could actually have the service to look after that many people. What do you reckon is the difference? Why do you reckon there's you guys that are getting that kind of volume?
Well, I think we're really strong in all three areas. So the art of chiropractic, we really pride ourselves on our analysis of the subluxation, and how to prioritize where that primary subluxation might be. I think we really pride ourselves in the science. Obviously, the research team does a phenomenal job in trying to back up what we are doing and seeing in practice every day. To be honest, I think it's the students, once they have been given the tools, they then develop the skills. And our biggest challenge always has to be communication and connection, interestingly enough, because we can teach the other things, but it's that ability to be to treat the practice member as a human being and to be curious enough to want to help. I think that makes a difference. Once they start to see their practices success, and when I mean success, they see people becoming healthier, more vibrant, that then propels them into more success. So there's so many different factors that come into that. And look, I don't think we're there yet. I think we've got a long way to go. And without giving too much away, that's what I'd like to explore in August.
That is so cool. You can't see right now, but I've got crazy goosebumps on my arms right now, which is kind of a good sign that my system's turned on. So I can't wait to hear from you. And I know that what you're doing for our profession in the Australasia, or also in probably the Southern Hemisphere, even maybe abroad as well, is so exciting. You're doing so much for the New Zealand side of things, as well as here in Australia. And I'm sure the fact that New Zealand College gave so much to the ACC as well. And look, I'm just so pumped, because I loved having Ash on the stage for the last couple of years. We thought we'd upgrade Ash now and get you instead, which is going to be pretty cool. And so look, last thing I might finish off with is I know you guys do a bit of traveling. I've seen you guys skiing with your kids in I think it was Japan last time we spoke, and obviously traveling the world. You guys go to Fiji on Fire. It's Ash's big thing is Fiji on Fire. You have the Lyceum seminars. There's not much you guys don't do or can't do. So some of our people have asked about retention, new patients, and also communicating a message. I don't really think you have to focus on that, because you've already kind of hit every single one of those perfectly. But any final things you'd love to kind of pass on to our attendees that are coming this year?
Well, first of all, I'd like anyone that happens to be listening to this to maybe set themselves the challenge of getting another 2 or 3 people along to the seminar, because the Innate Summit really is absolutely pivotal in making the difference here in Australasia with regards to vitalistic chiropractic, and I think it's really important. And I think, the one thing that will make the difference in practice is getting together with your people, that's us, all of us that go to Innate Summit, and realise that there is huge potential for our practices to double, treble, and that we really can create the movement we know that is possible. Funnily enough, we always look for the tool bag when we're struggling in practice, or when we're having those challenges. We look for the latest technique or the latest way to do certain things. I would absolutely encourage everyone to believe that they have what it takes to be a great chiropractor, and that actually it's about believing in yourself and believing in chiropractic. And when you understand your purpose, being successful is the outcome. It will happen because you are practicing congruently in a way that is so meaningful. That's what I have to say.
Holy, that's a perfect full stop. Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. I can't wait to see you. We're going to be seeing you in Fiji in a few months, me and Gabby.
Yes.
And also, we're going to be seeing you at the Innate Summit. And thank you so much for the interview. I'm so excited about hearing you, and thanks for all you do for our profession. You're a rock star. So, guys, you've heard it from the wonderful Katie.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Take care, Katie.
Thank you.
Awesome. See you guys soon.
See you later. Bye.